fact, that's captured in a lot of the folklore as well. For example, a lot of times you'll see in the movies where they have a genie, like if they go into the lamp, like it's this expansive, limitless world in there. It's like they have to shrink down to get into the lamp, but inside the lamp is this world that's basically its own little contained universe.
Right.
Limited only by the jinn's imagination.
Sure.
Now, both devils and jinn feature in folklore and are held responsible for misfortune, possession, and diseases. And in fact, the jinn predate Islam, they predate Judaism, they predate Christianity. Sorry. So we're talking a really old idea.
Yeah, pretty old.
And they keep getting adapted into various folklores.
Oh, sorry.
Well, screenplays too. They do very well in Hollywood.
They do.
I mean, Robin Williams, Will Smith. These are not lightweights here. They're pretty heavy.
Barbara Eden.
Okay, but isn't that what Barbara Eden is famous for?
That doesn't matter. She did well.
I'm just saying. Barbara Eden was an unknown virtually before she got the job.
It doesn't matter. That's really besides the point. She was a genie. She did well. That's the whole... You don't have to go calling her out on her acting prowess.
I'm not. I think she's
acting history. I think she was adorable and is adorable. And
I'm not. Right? I'm just saying... When Robin Williams is willing to play you, and Will Smith is willing to play a genie, then that's you're doing well in Hollywood.
Sure.
So I'm guessing the Jinn have a nice agent or someone.
You know. Sure, we'll go with that answer.
All right. While we are pausing here,
We pause?
Well, yeah, we stopped talking for a moment.
Oh, okay. So in other words, she was waiting for us to shut the heck up.
Well, no, you could have taken your time. I just want to get this out now before I forget about it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
Question of the day. What is your favorite color? As we know, the listeners can tell us as well. We can hear from you about your favorite colors. We would like
Facebook.
We would like to get to know you more. So
we'll put up what are those things? A poll.
A poll.
We'll put up a poll for favorite colors, but okay. So because Dad already showed his.
Exactly. Black.
And I feel like I've shared mine several times because I'm pretty open about it. My favorite color is purple, which I am currently wearing.
And as we know, I'm not really a favorite color person. I really like pastels.
So you're a favorite shade person. You like pastel colors.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Krysta's definitely a spring.
All right.
Well, she is a little bouncy, but I don't know that I refer to her as a spring.
All right, let's continue on the path of Jinn.
Well, actually, since we've taken a small detour, let's take a little break for a word from our sponsors.
Absolutely. Don't we have a new sponsor? Or are we still in talks about that?
We're still in talks. Well, we've agreed that we will have a new sponsor, but the ink is not dried in the contract, as they say.
I see. Okay, well, stay tuned. We will have a new sponsor.
Yes, we will. So, let's take a few moments for a word from our sponsors. All right.
I feel sponsored.
And so do I. So
sponsorness.
Now, one thing, at least in the early days of the Jinn, pre-Islam, pre-Judeo-Christian, they were believed to be as powerful as angels, as I said, but they were not believed to be immortal. They had an age at which they would die, or they could actually be killed. So while their mortality ranks them a little lower than angels, it seems like they were still worshipped as kind of like nature spirits, almost. Like the Shinto in the Japanese, which is really just a worship of nature spirits. And Japan at one time was just covered in Shinto shrines at which people would pray. Just a natural thing.
Sure.
So the Jinn had that same kind of thing going on. Also, it was conceivable a man could kill a Jinn in single combat. But the problem with that is Jinn were able to take different shapes.
Well, yeah, and because they had free will. So if they had free will, wouldn't that mean that they could use their powers on themselves?
Well, that's just it. Jinn can take different shapes, and Jinn can turn invisible.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit. So let's go back a little bit. What does your research tell you that they are kind of what Hollywood depicts them as this phenomenally powerful magician who has all of the magics at their disposal kind of thing?
Well, it depends on where you get your... Because pre-Islamic belief, yeah, they have the free will of mortals, but they have the powers of angels. So, yeah, and they don't really grant wishes, although they may respond to prayers.
Interesting.
That explains.
And some claim they were thought to inhabit, like, the desert or other unclean places, which the Islamic religion is sort of obsessed with cleanliness and places that are unclean. And so that's where they dwelled. But
I mean, I have heard, not that I have experienced, but I guess I can understand where you might be a little obsessed with cleanliness if you live in the desert, because I understand that thing gets everywhere.
Yeah, that's well, you think about a beach, sand gets everywhere. Yeah, I mean, you're showering sand out of your hair for 3 days, you know. I mean, so I can't imagine living in a desert culture.
Yeah, no thank you. Like I said, no experience.
But here's the thing, though. If you go to Judeo-Christian lore, the Jinn were powerful beings all of their own. Mm-hmm. And in fact, one of the things about Solomon, King Solomon from the Bible, is supposedly he had a ring that let him command the Jinn.
Interesting.
So, and it is in Judeo-Christian mythos that they sort of become servants to sorcerers.
Huh.
So basically what we're saying is that what history or folklore seems to say is that at one point they were viewed as servants to men of power. Uh-huh. So it just depends on, because virtually every religion adopted them in some form.
Sure.
And in fact, there is a story, not in the Bible, but there is a story that scholars have found that tells of a jealous Jinn stealing Solomon's ring while Solomon bathed in the River Jordan. And he seated himself on Solomon's throne at his palace and reigned over his kingdom, forcing Solomon to become a wanderer. God compelled the jinn to throw the ring into the sea. Solomon retrieved it and punished the jinn by imprisoning him in a bottle.
Ah, I see.
That's why they're in the bottle.
Gotcha.
And 10 million years later, Barbara Eden is living in...
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do.
J.R. Ewing's house in a bottle.
Well, yeah, But in California, not in Texas, because...
Well, yeah, he wasn't J.R. Ewing yet, but I can't remember the actor's name, and I'm very sorry for that.
Now we're going to get letters.
Yes, I know.
And it's not going to be for scary stories.
Now, one story it says that Solomon forced the jinn to build the Temple of Jerusalem and all of the city as well.
Well, I mean, that would have definitely cut down on man hours.
Talk about never having a friend like me.
Absolutely. What do you want, indeed?
I want to not have to pay union prices. That's what I want.
Is this a reference to a movie or something?
Oh, about 50, but you're all right, baby.
Oh my goodness, I am out of it. Bye.
So, let's talk jinn abilities, right? We've said
that was my initial question. We took the scenic route to get back to it, but it's good.
They could turn into animals, any animal they wanted.
Uh-huh.
Some of them could turn invisible, the more powerful ones at any rate.
Sure.
And while in some of the later stories it became constrained as something they could only use for other people, but some of them could simply bring about whatever they willed. So if one willed a pile of gold, it had a pile of gold. So that makes them like ancient Green Lanterns minus the ring.
But they could have the ring if they wanted it.
Yeah, and if there's any jinn listening, I would like a Green Lantern ring. I don't know that I have much will, but I'm willing to learn.
Well, that is a step towards in the right direction.
I mean, I only quit smoking because of Chantix, and, well, I'm pretty hefty, so I can't quit eating, so maybe my willpower is not the strongest. Maybe a yellow lantern ring, I'll take that. I'm good with fear. I'm good with causing fear.
If there is a Jinn listening, I wish you good luck.
Well, very nice. Also...
She's always so nice.
Yes.
She gets that from me.
Now, free Jinn used to love interfering in human relationships.
It also loved causing babies, but that was, back in right after the Prohibition and after most wars. Oh, God.
Okay, that was a horrible pun. And I know you like horrible puns.
So good.
I have a horrible pun.
Free Jinn would totally cause a lot of babies.
I have a horrible pun.
Okay.
I was reading a book on anti-gravity. I thought it was hard to put down.
You're going to make me do it.
I'm so proud.
You're going to make me do it.
Do it!
So proud.
Did you know if you tip over your canoe in the water, you can wear it as a hat? Because it's capsized? Ba-dum-bump. Okay, moving on.
So proud of my little terrible pun family.
Now, Jinn would often interfere in human relationships. Like if they fell in love with a human, they would try to disrupt marriages and other relationships to keep that human for themselves.
That's why people cheat.
Oh, that must have been what's-her-name's problem in Independence. Maybe it was a Jinn.
Sharon Kinney? Yeah, I think it was Jinn, all right, but I think it was the kind you were
The
mentioning.
kind I was talking about.